Imagine walking into a hospital after losing your arm. The doctor looks at you and says, "Don't worry, come back in 6 months. It should have grown back by then." That sounds ridiculous, because for humans, losing a limb has always meant losing it forever. But here's the strange part. That's only true for us. Across the animal kingdom, there are creatures that replace entire body parts as if nothing happened. A starfish can grow back an arm. Some lizards replace their tails. Certain fish regenerate damaged fins. And one small amphibian can rebuild almost an entire leg. Bones, muscles, blood vessels, skin, even the nerves reconnect. Cut the leg off again, it grows back again. So here's the real question. Why can evolution build an animal that regrows an entire limb, but not us? For decades, scientists thought they already knew the answer. Humans simply didn't have the necessary genes. The ability had been lost somewhere during evolution. Case closed. Except, that isn't what researchers found. Because when scientists compared our DNA with animals that regenerate, something unexpected appeared. Many of the genetic instructions are still there. In other words, the blueprint never completely disappeared. And that changes everything. Because if we still have many of the same biological tools, why doesn't a new arm start growing after an accident? The answer begins with something every one of us has seen: a scar. Imagine two construction crews arriving at the same collapsed building. The first crew says, "Seal everything immediately, make it safe, we can worry about the damage later." The second crew says, "Demolish what's left, then rebuild the entire building exactly as it was." Your body always chooses the first crew. The moment you're injured, stopping blood loss becomes the priority. The immune system rushes in. Collagen fills the gap. Scar tissue forms. The wound closes. Fast, efficiently. And from an evolutionary perspective, that strategy probably saved millions of lives. Because for most of human history, surviving the next few days mattered far more than regrowing a hand over the next few months. Evolution doesn't care about perfect solutions. It cares about surviving long enough to have children. But here's where things become truly fascinating. Salamanders make the opposite choice. Instead of sealing the wound forever, their bodies erase part of the damage. Cells near the injury begin changing. Muscle cells stop behaving like muscle. Connective tissue stops behaving like connective tissue. It's almost as if they forget what they used to be. Scientists call the structure that forms a blastema. Think of it as a biological construction site. Instead of repairing what's left, the animal starts building a completely new limb, finger by finger, joint by joint, nerve by nerve. It's one of the most extraordinary abilities in the entire animal kingdom. And naturally, it leads to another question. If salamanders can do this, have humans really lost the ability completely? Surprisingly, not entirely. Every time you cut your skin, it regenerates. Broken bones don't stay broken forever. Your liver can regrow after losing a large portion of its tissue. And in some rare cases, very young children have even regrown the tips of amputated fingers, particularly when the nail bed remains intact. So humans aren't incapable of regeneration. We do it all the time. The real mystery is different. Why does regeneration suddenly stop? Exactly where we'd need it the most? That question has puzzled scientists for decades, and only recently, they may have started finding the answer. But the biggest breakthrough didn't come from studying humans. It came from studying one of the strangest animals on Earth, the axolotl. At first glance, it doesn't look particularly impressive. It's a small amphibian that spends its entire life underwater. Yet inside its body is one of biology's greatest mysteries. If an axolotl loses a leg, it doesn't simply heal the wound. It grows an entirely new one. And not just something that looks similar. The new limb contains the correct bones, the correct muscles, the correct blood vessels, the correct nerves. Everything ends up exactly where it belongs. Even more astonishing, scientists can amputate the same limb multiple times, and each time it grows back again. For years, researchers searched for a special regeneration gene, something unique that humans simply didn't have. But the more they looked, the less convincing that idea became. Because no single magic gene ever appeared. Instead, they found something far more interesting. Regeneration isn't controlled by one switch. It's controlled by thousands of tiny signals talking to one another. Imagine trying to build a house. Having bricks isn't enough. You also need an architect, a blueprint, builders, electricians, plumbers. And everyone has to arrive at exactly the right time. Your body works the same way. Growing a new limb isn't just about making more cells. It's about telling every single cell where to go, what to become, and when to stop. Otherwise, the result wouldn't be a hand, it would be a dangerous mass of growing tissue. In other words, cancer. That's why regeneration is far more difficult than it sounds. You're not asking the body to grow, you're asking it to grow with perfect precision. And recently, scientists discovered one of the molecules helping axolotls do exactly that. It's called retinoic acid, a compound related to vitamin A. Researchers found that it acts almost like a biological GPS. It helps cells understand where they are inside the limb, near the shoulder, near the elbow, near the wrist, or near the fingertips. Without those positional signals, the cells don't know what they're supposed to build. This was a remarkable discovery. Because humans use many of the same signaling pathways while we're still embryos, before we're born, our bodies already know how to build arms and legs from almost nothing. The instructions clearly exist. So the mystery changed completely. Scientists stopped asking, how do we give humans regeneration? Instead, they started asking, why does regeneration switch off after birth? And surprisingly, no one has a complete answer yet. Some researchers believe our powerful immune response is part of the reason. Others think scar tissue forms too quickly, preventing regenerative cells from organizing. Most likely, it's a combination of many different biological systems working together, which also explains why solving this problem has taken so long. Because rebuilding a human arm isn't like repairing a broken bone. A single arm contains dozens of bones, hundreds of muscles, thousands of blood vessels, millions of nerve connections. Every structure has to appear in exactly the right place, and they all have to grow together. Miss even one step, and the entire process fails. That's why scientists aren't trying to regrow whole arms tomorrow. The first goal is much smaller: healing wounds without scars, repairing damaged cartilage, restoring injured nerves, helping organs recover more completely. Each breakthrough teaches researchers another piece of the puzzle, and each piece brings us a little closer to something that once seemed impossible. So, when will humans finally be able to regrow lost limbs? The honest answer is, no one knows. It probably won't happen next year. It may not happen in the next 20 years. But one thing has already changed. Not long ago, scientists believed humans simply lacked the ability. Today, many researchers think the ability may have been there all along, hidden beneath millions of years of evolution, locked behind biological systems we still don't fully understand. Because perhaps the most surprising discovery isn't that salamanders can regrow a leg. It's that the human body may still remember parts of the same ancient program. Not deleted, just silent. And if we ever learn how to wake it up, losing a limb might one day become something humanity no longer accepts as permanent.